Is it for any particular purpose? Is it a hobby? Is it a research project? Anything like that?
I don't know yet at the minute.
Okay.
Just sort of flying around, see what happens.
Right. I understand an officer's just tried to have a word with you on the way into the car park.
She sort of shouted at me in a plainclothes personal car, so I didn't have a clue who she was.
Apparently you've told her to pee off.
Did I?
That's what she said to us. If that's the case, that's not acceptable, is it?
Well, that's why we wear independent witnesses that never lie.
Right. What do you mean by that? Right, okay. Well, yeah, I've got mine on as well, so...
Well, thanks for letting me know.
Can I take your details just so we know what you're doing, and you're recorded on our systems, and we've got the fact what you're doing, and to make sure you're not up to no good?
No, I'd rather not, if that's okay.
Okay. Why is that?
Because I haven't done anything wrong.
Well, I just need to make sure that you're not like sort of in line with any terrorist groups or anything like that you could be using for hostile reconnaissance or anything of that nature.
Do you suspect I'm a terrorist officer?
Well, I don't know until I speak to you. Do I? Until I take your details and check you through.
Is that what you do with everybody?
If you're verbally abusive to people, then you have technically committed a public order offence for which I would require your details.
Okay.
They approach him already acting as if a claim has been proven that he used offensive language toward a sergeant. Instead of questioning it or confirming the facts, they treat it like it's already established. News Now Yorkshire doesn't get drawn into arguing back and forth. He calmly points to his body-worn camera and reminds them that recordings exist for a reason. That point is important because it immediately shows the difference. One side is relying on words, while the other has actual footage. This shifts the balance right away. Allegations can be made easily, but recorded evidence provides a clear account of what really happened. By highlighting the camera, he brings the focus back to facts rather than assumptions. It also reinforces why independent recording plays such a key role in situations like this. Then the situation takes a more serious turn. When he refuses to provide his personal details, the reasoning suddenly jumps to checking possible links to serious threats. That leap doesn't provide a real basis. It comes across more as a way to apply pressure. Instead of sticking to clear facts, the explanation becomes heavier without adding any real justification.
So that's why I'm asking you for them as well.
Right.
So could I have your name and date of birth and address, please?
What, you think I've committed a public order offence?
Yeah, because an officer's just told me that you've sworn at her in the street.
Well, I need to get her to make that statement then, because she's lying.
Well, she's just told me as she's driven in that you've sworn at her.
Did she?
Yeah.
Right, well, I'll be making a complaint about her then.
That's absolutely
And if you
fine.
take my details, I will have to sue West Yorkshire Police.
That's not a problem. You feel free to do so. The reason I've explained the reasons why I'm asking you for your details.
What happens if I don't give my details?
Then you're potentially committing an offence.
Well, I will.
It's a lot easier if you do, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to give my details.
Okay.
I will if you tell me that I'll be arrested if I don't.
Well, potentially you may be. Yeah, it may make your arrest necessary under Section 24 of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act because your name and address can't be verified.
Right.
And I've got reasonable grounds to suspect that you've committed an offence.
What reasonable grounds is that?
But I've been told by a fellow officer that you've been verbally abusive in a public place, which would be a Section 4A public order.
I have it all
offence.
recorded, officer.
That's fine.
Do you want me to show you the recording?
Not at the moment, but I want.
Because I could show you the recording.
I want you to.
And then you would know.
Details, and I've explained it to you. You've asked me to explain it to you, and I've laid it out plain and simple.
This is the point where the reasoning completely breaks down. They claim a public order offense has taken place, not based on anything clearly shown, but simply because a sergeant says it happened. When News Now Yorkshire asks what happens if he refuses to give his details, the response just goes in circles, suggesting that not complying could lead to another possible offense, which could then justify arrest. That kind of reasoning doesn't hold up. It repeats the same idea without providing any real foundation. Bringing up arrest powers only highlights the issue further. Those powers require clear evidence and a proper reason. They can't be based on rank, assumption, or convenience. In this situation, the only thing being relied on is a colleague's claim, without anything solid to support it. What stands out even more is the refusal to review the available footage. The recording could quickly confirm what actually happened, yet they choose not to look at it. That decision is important. When evidence that could clarify the situation is ignored, it raises serious concerns about how the situation is being handled and what the real intention might be.
I don't think I have to give my details, officer.
You do.
I do.
You've been verbally abusive towards somebody.
I haven't though.
She's alleging that you have.
I haven't though.
As I said before, I've got reasonable grounds to suspect that you've committed a public order offence.
But I haven't.
Okay, listen to me. Because of that nature, that's why I require your details. And as I've explained to you, if you don't give me your name and address, and can't verify who you are, it may make your arrest necessary in order to ascertain those details.
Will you arrest me if I don't?
I'm not saying I definitely will, but I'm saying it may make your arrest necessary.
Am I being detained right now?
At the moment, because I need your details.
I'm being detained?
Potentially, if you don't give me your details, you may be arrested, is what I'm saying.
No, I just want to check if I'm being detained right now.
I don't understand why you can't just give me your details.
I'd rather not. That's the point.
But I'm asking you to.
If I have to by law, then I will.
You do have to by law, yeah.
Okay, and what section of law says I have to?
I'm telling you that because you committed an offence.
I haven't though.
I suspect that you have.
You suspect that I have?
I suspect that you have.
Okay.
I only need reasonable grounds to suspect. That's 2 to 3 out of 10 on the scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
I've got that reasonable suspicion.
Yeah. Can you let me know that lady's name or collar number?
So she's a sergeant who was off duty at the time, coming into work for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Because
she's a police
she's
officer.
lied to you. Now you've threatened me with arrest, which has now made me have to give my details. So I will have to make a call to my solicitor.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah. Okay.
You go right ahead.
They corner him with a justification that doesn't really hold up. The message becomes, if you don't identify yourself, you could be arrested so they can identify you. That's not how arrest powers are meant to be used. It turns the process into a way of getting personal details rather than responding to a clear and defined issue. Arrest isn't supposed to be used just because someone chooses not to cooperate. It also can't rely on a single, unverified suspicion. At that stage, the idea of reasonable grounds starts to lose its meaning. Instead of being based on clear facts, it begins to look like a convenient reason to push the situation forward. That's why the pressure becomes effective. Faced with the possibility of being taken in under unclear reasoning, he ends up giving his details to avoid further escalation. It's not because there's a clear legal requirement, but because the situation is being driven in a way that leaves little practical choice. When compliance comes from that kind of pressure, it's not genuine agreement. It's a response to the situation created around him. That difference matters, as it highlights how authority can be used in a way that influences outcomes without properly justified grounds.
I can't believe she lied to you, officer. I have got it all recorded though, just so you know.
You could, if you want to make a complaint.
Yeah, I will be making a complaint straight away. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I haven't got
Is that what she actually said to you? I told her to pee off.
As I drove out of the gate, she was driving in and she said, "Will I have a word with it with you?"
Yeah.
Because she'd spoken to you and you told her to, I'm not going to say the full word, but pee off. You understand what I mean by that?
I understand what you're saying, but she's lying to you, you know that, don't you?
Well, if she's lying to me, she's lying to me. If it's on your camera, then you've got grounds for a complaint.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
But I'm not lying to you. I can only go about
you know, last time this happened, I got £1,000 for it, you know.
Right.
Yeah. That was at Humberside though.
What was that? What was that in relation to though?
Because someone said I was committing antisocial behaviour, so the officer unlawfully used Section 50 of the Police Reform Act to gain my details, just like you've unlawfully used Section 5 to get my details.
Okay.
And then they offered me £1,000 for my trouble.
I haven't used Section 5.
Oh, did you use?
You've potentially committed an offence under Section 4A of the Public Order Act.
Oh, okay. Section 4A.
Yeah.
And that requires me to give my details.
It doesn't require you to give your details.
You just told me it did.
What I'm saying, no, you're twisting my word.
The officer keeps relying on the word potentially. Potentially an offense, potentially a breach, potentially linked to a specific section. That single word is carrying the entire argument because there's no clear evidence being presented. But potential on its own isn't enough. A real offense requires intent and an actual effect, not just the idea that something might have happened. What makes the situation more confusing is how the legal references keep changing. One moment it's one section, then it shifts to another, and then something else entirely. That doesn't show clarity, it suggests uncertainty. If there were a clear offense, the explanation would stay consistent instead of constantly moving. This pattern makes it harder to see any solid foundation behind the claims. Instead of narrowing things down, it feels like different options are being tested to see what might stick. And despite all these shifting points, none of them clearly establish a right to demand his personal details in that moment. In the end, repeating potentially doesn't create authority. Without clear facts and a stable explanation, the argument remains weak and difficult to justify.
What I'm saying to you is because I've got reasonable grounds to suspect that you've committed an offence.
Yeah.
If you don't give me your details, it may make your arrest necessary under Section 24 of PACE.
Oh, okay.
Because your name and address cannot be verified.
Right.
And I suspect that you've committed an offence.
Well, that's a full explanation. Thank you for that.
That's what I said to you the first time.
Well, I didn't get that explanation, so maybe you didn't explain it properly, and maybe I didn't understand.
Well, you understand it now, though.
I do, 100%. Yeah, yes. I can't believe she lied to you, and she's a sergeant. She's going around lying to you guys. Do you want me to show you the video?
No.
Is it because you know that she's lying?
I don't know that she's lying.
I think you know. Okay. I think you know. I think you do know.
We're literally just going off what we've been told.
Yeah, what you've been told is a lie, though, is what I'm saying. I could show you the video now and show you that she's lying. What do you guys reckon? Your personal opinion?
My personal opinion doesn't matter. I don't work. My personal opinion has to stay at home when I come to work.
Well, use your detective skills then. What do you think?
This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Speaking to you.
Well, yeah, I could have showed you the video.
To find out your version of events.
No, you know what you're doing is getting my details unlawfully.
Yeah, I'm not. I've already explained to you the reason why.
I could have showed you the video and then you would have no reason to get my details.
If you're happy to show me the video, I'm happy to watch it. It's not a problem.
Well, there's no point now because you've already given my details.
This is the point where any sense of fairness really breaks down. He keeps offering a simple solution, just review the footage, but they refuse to do it. One officer even admits she's relying only on what she's been told. That's not a proper assessment. It's accepting a claim without checking the facts. His explanation isn't compared against the available evidence, it's pushed aside. Instead of using the footage to clarify what actually happened, they rely on second-hand information. Choosing hearsay over real-time evidence raises serious concerns about how the situation is being handled. What makes it more telling is the timing. Only after they've already taken his details does the video suddenly become important. If it truly mattered, it would have been the first thing reviewed, not the last. Leaving it until the end makes it seem less like an investigation and more like an attempt to justify what has already been done. In the end, the sequence of events speaks for itself. When clear evidence is available but ignored until later, it undermines confidence in the process and suggests the outcome was decided before all the facts were considered.
Might as well speak to my solicitor now and get my £1,000.
You've offered to show me the video, then that's fine.
Yeah, then you see that your sergeant's a liar.
Well, show me it if you want to show me it. I'm not bothered.
Am I being detained?
No, you're free to go. Thank you for giving me your details. Just be careful where you're flying it.
No, I won't.
Obviously, bear in mind that side of the gate and the fence is private property.
Oh no, I've already been over there.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go over again.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But bear in mind that you may be spoken to again by an officer if it's deemed that your drone's interfering with any police activities or anything like that.
All right, well, I've got permission to be here.
From
the Civil Aviation Authority.
Okay, have you got that in writing? Have you got anything on you can show me to confirm that?
Do I need to?
Well, I'm not just going to believe you, am I?
Well, I'm not just going to believe you that your sergeant's a liar.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to get drawn into this back and forth with you.
You've already been drawn into it.
I've spoken to you. I've ascertained what you're doing. As long as you're not interfering
what happened
with
to the
police
Section
activities,
4A?
That's fine. I'm not going to take any further action against it.
No further action?
Yeah.
Why? Because you know that she's a liar?
I'm going to give you words of advice.
No, I don't want your words of advice.
Right, well, I'm going to offer
you
you
can
them.
stick your words of advice.
Right, I'm going to offer you them anyway.
No, I don't want.
The moment they obtain his details, the entire situation comes to an immediate stop. There's no follow-up, no action taken, and no effort to pursue any of the issues that were mentioned earlier. Everything they had been raising, public order concerns, serious implications, and different legal references, simply disappears. That sudden shift isn't by chance. If those concerns were genuine and supported by evidence, they wouldn't be dropped so quickly. Real issues don't just vanish the moment a name is recorded. The speed at which everything ends makes it clear that those points were never the main focus. Looking at it closely, the interaction wasn't about resolving a specific problem. It was about finding out who he was. Once that was achieved, the purpose of the encounter was complete. There was no need to continue because there was nothing else being built toward. All the legal language used earlier doesn't appear to have been part of a clear process. Instead, it comes across as a way to apply pressure and move the situation in a certain direction. Once that goal was reached, everything else fell away just as quickly as it had been introduced.
I speak to people in future.
But I didn't speak to anybody in any. She's a liar. I never told her to pee off. She's an absolute liar. I will be making a complaint.
Okay.
I will be suing. Thank you
fine.
very much. What's your details?
6468.
From the station?
Yep.
Your details?
290.
From the station?
Yep.
And her details?
She'll find those out for you. I believe her name's Sergeant Wiltshire, or Wiltshire, my apologies.
Sergeant Wiltshire?
Yep.
And her numbers?
I don't know them.
Well, I need her numbers.
I don't know them.
We'll have to radio through then.
I don't know them.
She's the one that made the complaint. I need to make a complaint about the lying sergeant.
Just ask to speak to Sergeant Wiltshire. She works on Team 4 Patrol South at Elland Road. That's all you'll need.
Well, can't you just radio through and ask for her details?
No, because she's not actually on duty at the moment, because she was in, as you said, she was in a civilian car in a civilian clothing, so she's...
You could ring the control room and ask what a colour number is her.
I can't do that at the moment because I'm too busy, but you've got all the details.
But you weren't too busy to come and stop to talk to me?
Thank you very much.
Yeah? See you later, sausages.
I prefer bacon.
He explains that the matter is heading to court because the entire encounter rests on claims that don't appear to match what actually happened. A sergeant alleges that he swore, yet he maintains that it never occurred. Other officers repeat the accusation without reviewing the footage that could confirm it one way or the other, and threats of arrest are used to pressure him into providing his details. Once they obtain those details, the rest of the situation simply fades away. That's what raises the concern. It stops looking like a dispute and starts looking like authority being used without proper foundation. When he asks for the officer's caller numbers, the response isn't a clear refusal but a dismissal. Suddenly, they claim to be too busy to provide a basic piece of information that would allow the interaction to be reviewed later. That contrast is hard to ignore. Just minutes earlier, there was plenty of time to stop him, question him, warn about arrest, and push for his personal information. The difference highlights the imbalance in the encounter. Officers moved quickly when they wanted answers from him, but became unavailable when the request for accountability turned back toward them. Footage that could have resolved the allegation was set aside. Identification that could support a formal complaint was treated as if it were optional. The pattern is clear: escalation first, pressure applied, and compliance obtained. Once that happens, the urgency disappears. No offense is pursued and no further action follows. If the situation had truly been about public order, security, or any concrete concern, it wouldn't have ended the moment the information they wanted was secured. If you found value in this breakdown, make sure you like the video, share it, and subscribe to support the channel and help keep this kind of accountability in the spotlight. I'm the Audit Assessor. This was episode 11. See you next time.